What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Howard Rundown podcast. This is episode 4 of our playoff series, covering all things playoffs. Lockie, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. I've had a good day. How about you?
Very good, very good.
Let's go.
I'm glad that we're doing this on like a regular cadence now. We've blocked out our Wednesday afternoon, our Wednesday nights to record, so we're in this like little bit of a group at the moment. We're actually being consistent, so I don't think we'll be going anywhere anytime soon.
Hell
But
no.
yeah, a bit of a short episode today, I think, just because there's not as many like kind of games on now. Obviously, everyone has seen that the Nuggets swept the Lakers, which I honestly didn't expect. I at the start of the series I said Lakers would win in 7 or 6. I can't remember. I was very Lakers heavy, but
Yeah, six, I
I
think.
think
Well, yeah.
I think the Nuggets kind of proved um, the doubters wrong. And like the number one seed in the West, and they were still kind of pictured as the underdogs.
Mm.
Jokic
Somehow. Yeah.
dominated. Yeah,
I
Jokic
don't get that.
dominated. What are your thoughts on the series?
Yeah. Nuggets are just, they're just like a league above. I think they're a league above,
Mm.
like, I mean, obviously, yeah, number one seed, but difference between like being like one game away from each other. I think they're more games away from every other team than what it shows. Like they are
Yeah,
so cohesive as a unit. Everything runs like perfectly. Like they're that team where I was watching each game and I'm like, the Lakers need to stop, but they're just not going to get one because Nuggets
mm,
are making just the right plays. And every
yeah,
time they just get good shots. They're so patient. They are so controlled. Um, yeah, I was a bit surprised they swept. I was expecting at
yeah.
least
I didn't
five
expect
or
that.
six games, man. Like fuck. What's happening? What's happening to my king, to his legacy?
Yeah. Oh, Le
But yeah,
swept. I
uh,
just yeah. Nuggets are in a class of their own, and I will be surprised if they don't win this year, regardless of who
mm,
they face. I think they're the front runners now. They just I know it seemed like Lakers were actually didn't actually play that bad. The Nuggets are
mm,
just way better. I think they shot the same percentage for the first 2 games.
yeah,
Then the Nuggets kind of blew them out in the last 5 minutes of game 3, and then yesterday was obviously LeBron had the chance to win, well, to tie the game. Personally, I think they weren't going to win that series anyways. I reckon they should have just. It doesn't matter, but they should have gone for 3 to try and at least
mm,
finish like get a win. But I mean, I don't know. Nuggets are just leaps and bounds heavens above any like I would say any other team in the West, obviously because they've made the finals, but any team in the league, I just think who is guarding Jokic? He was hitting all these tough shots. They switched Rui
yeah,
Hachimura onto him, who did a really good job, like when it worked. Um, but he just seemed to hit every single shot he was putting up. Late third, early fourth quarter, the Lakers picked up the intensity, and you kind of saw in a few stages of all 4 games that the Lakers were pulling away. But then the Lakers collapse and the Nuggets just start hitting like 4 threes in a row, and there goes your lead.
mm,
Man, they can turn it on at any time. And Jamal Murray is,
oh,
oh my god, people forget how good he was in that bubble.
mm,
Like he was the best player in the league in that bubble. Crazy,
yeah. I'm happy that,
overstatement, but I mean,
mm,
you know,
yeah, I'm happy that the bubble is over time. People are not looking past it. Like
mm,
it was still like the four teams left. Um, were all the same four teams left in 2019 in the
yeah,
bubble, like or 2020, whatever it was.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I think Lakers like they overperformed, and so from the seventh seed getting to the conference finals is still like
yeah,
insane. That doesn't really happen. So like what Warriors won last year, they were the sixth seed or something like that. Like it
yeah,
doesn't really happen unless you've got someone like a LeBron or a Steph. So like they should
hundred
still be
percent.
happy. I know hindsight is hindsight is 2020, but the Russ trade, I genuinely think he would still worked so well on this team, particularly against
Really?
the Nuggets. Yeah, I just think you don't have an enforcer on the team. You don't have someone who's
Mm,
gonna get into a star player's head or got that energy. You know, you don't have that type of enforcer. Like Russ would have been perfect, I think, for guarding Murray and just the energy he provides. And like you take D'Lo out of the series and nothing really changes, right? So I
in
I
America.
I think Russ,
Oh,
yeah, if they could have had him, I reckon he would have helped them at least get a game. Like his defense and his hustle and his energy is like
yeah.
is unmatched, regardless of how he's shooting or turning the ball over, which he's not good
Mm,
at. So yeah, yeah, they overperformed, but yeah, D'Lo's probably out of there. I think the rest of the squad is like perfect. Like
yeah,
they're
100%.
still a
Yeah.
great unit. They're so solid. Like Rui was great. Malik Beasley he was injured, hey, for the last
Yeah, I
couple of
think so.
games. But like having
Yeah.
him, Vanderbilt, like
Austin Reeves, bro.
some Reeves, like
Oh, he averaged
great.
20 in the series. It's like
Yeah, they're
crazy.
still there.
I think the way I think about Russ is to turn the season around, they had to trade him,
Mm,
but in the playoffs, you would have liked to have him. You know what I mean? Like D'Lo was so unbelievably inconsistent.
mm,
I actually don't think he'll be there next year.
mm,
I think they want to bring in Kyrie, and I think there might be some sort of like sign and trade type of scenario where
mm.
D'Lo and a few other assets get traded for Kyrie. I don't know. Seriously think it's a possibility. I seriously think it's a possibility, but yeah, D'Lo just doesn't. He's so inconsistent. He had the worst conference finals from a potential star player I've ever seen.
Mm,
Like it's not even he's taking a low volume, like he's taking a low amount of shots because you've got these other stars around you,
mm.
but still with limited opportunity, you should be able to maximize the outcome. And I just don't think he didn't really do that. He's a big liability on defense. Dennis
Yeah.
Schroeder, really solid. Like he might not have had the numbers to kind of do it, but he did force Jamal Murray to take some tough shots. He made those tough shots, but to even just have that playoff intensity
Mm,
from a guy that hasn't been known to be a great defender, he's definitely turned into a solid defender though. But yeah, Nuggets, yeah, crazy. Aaron Gordon had a quite a good series. He's like one of those players that is just like sometimes quiet, but he does all the right. He does everything kind of to help the team.
yeah.
Um,
He's solid.
Michael
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. Michael. The possession ends with me, Porter Jr. He had a career high 6 assists. That is
Yeah, I
insane.
saw
Like
that.
I was like, that's such a bad such a bad career high from like it's just funny. Like it's such a Michael Porter Jr. thing.
It is.
He was really good. Bruce Brown, I would say Bruce Brown MVP of the series. He just had
Mm,
that he had it going, man. He was like just getting into the head of the Lakers. He was talking trash after the game to D'Lo. Like
mm.
that's what the Lakers needed, like a gritty guy who just doesn't give a shit. They've got like
Yeah.
multiple players like that on that team. Kentavious Caldwell Pope was really good as well.
Mm,
Um, but yeah,
yeah.
whoever Nuggets come up against, one of the Eastern teams are going to have a very tough problem guarding Jokic. I think the Heat, who will probably win this series, I know they dropped Game 4 today. I think the Heat will give them a bit of a problem just because they can switch so well, and their transition D is probably the best transition D in the league.
Mm,
A lot of Denver's points came from the poor transition D of the Lakers.
mm,
Um, but yeah, let's hop into Boston and Miami. Obviously, Miami's pretty much cakewalked the series until today, where kind of just third quarter everything kind of turned around. Like
mm.
Miami had the lead at the end of the first half, but what are your thoughts on the series so far? Shout out Grant Williams though for trying to poke the bear and then it not working, but then blocked Jimmy Butler today and like stared him down when he did it. And I was like,
It's good.
the audacity to do that after you've just been pretty much embarrassed.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
I back it. Like, yeah, it's like it's you go against a star player and they have this aura that they're better than you, and
mm,
then you just show them up. Like Bruce Brown was leagues above D'Lo in that series, so it's
100%.
like whatever is on paper doesn't really mean anything. Whoever shows up, I always like Grant Williams. He's super solid for him, and he like I think why not? Like why not poke the bear? Like if you really want to win, you want to break down the star player. You want
Yeah,
to push them to a point where like yeah, you might push them over the edge, and you might take it personal and go crazy. But you actually giving yourself the best chance because if you do push them to an area where they're not confident, you push them outside of that, like fuck, you've done a good job. So
yeah.
yeah, no, I'm happy with this series. I know it hasn't been both sides. I think it's proven to the rest of the league again how good is and how you should never count him out. And I love just the whole roster, like next man up, and how like the undrafted guys are getting their shine and yeah, so solid. Um, it kind of again goes to show you don't need to show up that much in the season.
No, no.
If you know your team is playoff ready, you can just get there and then figure it out from there. Obviously, you don't want to first face the first seed every single time, but yeah, they've been super solid. Like defensively, yeah, what they're able to switch on, like you said, is really impressive. And Boston, I think it's showed some areas of it's like they are able to move the ball and get good shots, but if for
Mm.
some reason when Tatum is on, Brown's off, or if Brown's on, Tatum's off,
It's
there
kind of
is
that
like
hero
this weird,
ball.
yeah, it is a bit of a weird thing where they can't really agree or they can't not agree because they pair well together. It's just like there is some sort of lacking when one of them is on and the other one's not. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been a good series. Yeah, Heater most likely gonna finish it
I
off.
think so. I think so.
It's incredible that that the Celtic or that the Heater in this position.
Yeah.
Celtics have 100% underperformed, but then again, Heat just like the Nuggets, they're just too good. Like I don't think
Yeah.
they've
100%.
they've shown that much um, that they're like outside of we know what they're capable of. But yeah, I mean, we want the win. We want the win for the Heat. Like,
Yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
finish it
Yeah.
off. Let's go. Come
Yeah.
on.
I think the Celtics have always struggled with the balance of Tatum and Brown. I think they always want to be in attack mode. They always want to be in takeover mode, but there's that friction there because they both want to, and it's kind of hard to balance that as well as balancing through the supporting cast around them.
Mm,
I think you might see. I'm just talking as if the Celtics are going to lose the series because I don't think they'll come back. I think
mm.
you're going to see a bit of a change in the off season. I think I think Joe Mazzulla might be out after 1 year. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
The lack in the ability to be able to call timeouts in a pressure situation. Like he kind of just the end of game 3, there was like 30 seconds left. Not one timeout was called in crunch time, kind of thing. I just think his game management is just not really that good, and apparently he can't even. He's not doesn't have great chemistry with the team, so I think
Yeah.
that's going to come into play. I think you might see. I think you might see a Jalen Brown exit. I'm not
Mm.
sure what you would. I'm not sure how that would work though. Like, what would you get back in return? What teams have the assets that would actually complement? I saw something like Dame for Jalen Brown, but why would
Either
Dame in
team.
Boston? Dame in Boston wouldn't work
Mm.
because I just don't think it would work.
No.
But yeah, I think you're going to see a bit of a shift in the Boston Celtics franchise. Heat though, it's a thing. It's this thing that undrafted players in Miami just step up all the time. Duncan Robinson, the key, like Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, or is it?
Caleb,
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
Caleb.
Caleb. Gabe Vincent like dropped 29 in game three. Like
Mm,
this is crazy. It is a thing for Miami Heat role players to just show up when it matters, when they need them to. Um, yeah,
yeah, you love
just
it.
and I love that they've now decided to turn up in the
Mm,
playoffs. I love that because it's the typical underdog story. If Miami somehow win this championship, oh my god,
mm,
this will be history. Like we are witnessing history right now. Like regardless if it's Denver or if it's Miami, whoever wins, it's history. Like
mm.
I think I know people are saying this is going to be the most boring series ever, but I don't know.
No,
I
this
think
is gonna
this is
go
going to be what
hard.
this is going to be one of the more entertaining finals we've had. I think,
Mm,
just the sheer because of how both teams play. I think Denver's very offensive minded, Miami's very defensive minded, a bit like the Lakers, but the Heat just have that dog mentality.
mm.
But Denver can also have that dog mentality as well. And I just think it's going to be a mad series. It's going to be so good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
I think it's so funny because like star players on each team, Jimmy's like in your face and talks a lot of
hmm
trash and
yeah,
yeah, super takes everything personal, just goes hard. And then Jokic is like doesn't talk as much, like he'll get more mad at the refs than he does at another
yeah,
player, like an
yeah,
opposition player. So I think that, like Jimmy's just gonna go at Jokic like
yeah. I think he's going to
to
try and get into
start.
his head or something.
Yeah, and I watched a video recently and it was like talking about how Jimmy turns it up in the playoffs and how controlled he is on the drive
Yeah,
using his body, getting the bump off, using his footwork. And I think he'll particularly go at Jokic a lot, um, forcing him to defend. Like I reckon he'll look to get that switch on him
yeah,
most times because he did this in the Boston series. Like he would get, no, it was the Oh, actually, in each series, he got the switch that he wanted. Like he's got Derek White and he got Grant Williams on him a whole lot,
yeah,
and it just led to like defensive breakdowns. It led him blowing
hmm
past and getting a good shot. Because during the season, it's funny. Teams defend Jimmy because act like he's a point forward. They don't defend
yeah,
him like he's looking to score. And now all of a sudden he's looking to do both because he's just
definitely.
raising
Yeah,
that level. So yeah, I reckon Jimmy's going to go at Jokic. I think that's going to be part of the game plan. I reckon they're going to be a bit of tempers flaring. I reckon the Jokic brothers are going to get involved and shit. Like I think Jimmy wants a bit of chaos because he
yeah.
knows he's got people on his side and like he knows how good he is. Like he knows that
And
the stuff works.
he fuels off that fire as well. Like
Yeah,
if there's a fire brewing, trust me, the first guy there is going to be Jimmy Butler. And
100%.
these teams have had a history in the past. Like obviously the whole Markieff Morris situation.
Mm,
Jimmy talking trash at half court to Nikola Jokic. I just think there is a backstory to this series that not a lot of people are talking about, and I think that's why they're like, oh, it's going to be a boring series.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we should get to predictions.
Mm.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I've been wrong. I've been wrong quite frequently with these picks. Because obviously I backed the Lakers in the last round, but um, oh, I really don't know. It's a bit of a like.
Mm.
I think either team can win, and I think it'll end in six, but I just don't know who. I think I'm going to go Denver.
Mm.
I think I'm going to go Denver. I just think. I think the Nuggets have more star power,
Yeah,
more weapons that can kind of hit you from anywhere. It's going to be a great series, and I won't be surprised if the Heat win. Like,
yeah,
it's just one of those things. I really cannot pick. I think Nuggets will win just on the sheer, like, talent and how good he's playing at the moment with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray.
mm.
I got a feeling you're going to go the other way.
I don't think either team concedes. I don't think either team will concede enough games. Like I think it's a game seven situation,
Yeah.
just because I want it. But I do think it's a game seven situation. I don't think either team is like they're so mentally tough. I don't think they're going to concede 4 games so quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be back and forth. you're right with the Nuggets having more like star power and like more weapons to go to offensively
Yeah,
because like everything kind of goes through Jimmy and Kyle Lowry's like not running the show or anything,
yeah.
but they have multiple weapons who are handling the ball. Oh, but then again, the Heat. I'm going to go Heat in seven because that's what I want. And I think they are mentally tougher to withstand the back and forth.
Yeah.
But again, like, yeah, won't be surprised if Nuggets in six. But yeah, Heat in seven, I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. All
Let's
right. Well,
go.
I think we should do a wrap up next Wednesday prior. So the finals start on Friday our time. So
Ah, right.
we'll kind of haven't we might have an episode before, just like a little bit of a finals preview. So we'll have that for you next week. And then I think we might do every 2 games we recap kind of thing, just to keep the keep the content coming whilst there is only one series left to decide the chip.
Hmm.
But yeah, I got nothing left to say. I think Miami's going to win the gentleman's sweep, and bye bye Lakers. LeBron retiring. Don't think about that. Don't even. I don't even know.
No,
I
fuck
hope
no.
not. I hope not because I want to. I'm going to America at the end of the year, and I don't want to miss LeBron. So
Yeah,
that
no.
will ruin my life. But
That's not happening.
no, no way. But all right. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week for another episode of the playoffs on the Hubble Rundown podcast.
Let's go.